Hi everyone, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to tell you about my May TBR, and I know you're going to shout at me. I know we're in the middle of May, but I thought I might as well tell you all of the books that I planned to read in May so I could wrap them all up at the end of May. So the first book that I started and finished in May was Scythe by knosw. I finished this on the 1st of May. This is a YA dystopian kind of utopian fantasy book. I think everybody on BookTube now knows about this book. It's been out for a while. This book is based in the future where they have eradicated death and illness and everybody lives for an eternity. So to keep down the population there are people called scythes, and they are tasked to kill people to keep the population down. It is a really interesting book. I loved it. I'm not going to tell you too much as I will wrap it up at the end of the month. And I guess that should lead on to the next book. Well, not the next book that I started, but another book that I wanted to read this month, and that is Thunderhead, also by knosw, the second book, It to the Scythe duology, I think is supposed to be. And I'm currently, I think, 379 pages through this book. I believe that I'll finish it within a few days. I don't think it's going to take me much longer. So the time this video is up, I will probably would have finished this one too, but I'll wrap it up at the end of the month. The next two books that I wanted to potentially finish in May, but I'm not certain on it, are these two. So it is Roseblood by A.G. Howard and Wicked Like Wildfire by Liana Popovic. And these books I have been reading for the longest amount of time, like just an eternity. I read these books back when I had my old channel name. So Wicked Like Wildfire I started 8 months ago, and Roseblood I finished 9 months ago. I might DNF them, I'm not sure. I didn't read for months and then I've been trying to get back into reading, so it's just, I don't know what to do. Should I finish them? Let me know down in the comments if you've read either of these. Are they worth it? I know that maybe these are the books that sent me in the slump in the first place, and I know I didn't have a lot of time at the time of reading these, but I don't know whether to finish them. I feel like I always remember a story when I go back into it, but I'm just really not sure. I might leave them till I'm like properly back into reading, so maybe read them next month, but I'm a quarter of the way through Wicked Like Wildfire and a third of the way through Roseblood, so it's a bit of a shame to ditch them now. I was interested in the stories at the time, but yeah, I may or may not finish these. And a release that came out in May that I was obviously going to read. If you knew my channel at all a year ago, you would know that I would be well excited for this book. If you're new here, I'm very excited and was very excited about this book, and this is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. I loved the ACOTAR series, so the Court of Thorns and Roses series by her. Loved it. I want to read it again, but I have so many books on my shelves I have not read that reading them again would just be silly, like less than a year later. Of course I had to get my hands on this as soon as it came out, and I have finished it. I finished it a few days ago. Wasn't quite as good. I'm not sure how I feel about the setup for the next trilogy, but I shall say more in my wrap up. But yeah, I was obviously going to pick this up, and I read it, and I didn't read it as quickly as I thought I would. It's pretty short, but hey, anyway, I picked this one up. And the next two that I wanted to read in the month of May is Blue Lily Lily Blue and The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. I read both of the books, the first two books in the series, so the Raven Cycle series, The Raven Boys and The Dream Thieves, this year. I tried to read them last year and it didn't go too well. It's one of Jade from Jade Ray Reads favourites, and I wanted to read them because she loved them. I tried it last year, couldn't get to like page 100, and I was like, I'm really not enjoying it. I felt so bad, but I tried to read it again this year because I was determined to give it another shot. I listened to it on audiobook and read along, and the narrator for the audiobook is amazing. His voice just fits the narration so good. love it. So yeah, I had to pick up these next two. I do have the audiobooks. I listen to them on an app called Overdrive, which I believe is worldwide. It's connected to your library. So I currently have both of these two on loan on there. So I'll be reading those hopefully as soon as possible. So if you don't know, The Raven Boys is a YA fantasy kind of book. It's the whole series is based on that. It's based on a group of friends who are hunting for something. I don't want to give too much away. The main character in the first book and kind of throughout, but all of the friends kind of have their parts, is Blue, and she lives in a family of psychics, and she then gets introduced somehow, I'm not going to tell you much more, but introduced to a group of friends who go to the Raven Academy, I think it's called, which is a school for boys, and she gets introduced to them and they go on a hunt for something, and it's so good and I cannot wait to finish these next two. And the next book I wish to read in the month of May is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Obviously I don't have a copy for this yet. It is the second book to Caraval and it comes out the end of this month, I believe on the 28th or 29th. So I have pre-ordered that and I'm going to have that delivered and I'm so excited. I read Caraval in a day and that never ever happens to me. I'm not a fast reader. It usually takes me an eternity to finish a book, and I sat there and read it and it was amazing. It was a roller coaster of a journey and loved it. When Caraval first came out, a lot of people thought it was going to be like The Night Circus, and apparently it wasn't. It left a lot of people quite upset, and people who hadn't read it or didn't care and went into it with an open mind, I feel like did enjoy it a lot more. I've never read The Night Circus, so I couldn't have the comparison, but I feel like a lot of people who thought it was going to be that were let down, and that's why they didn't enjoy it. I would definitely recommend everybody to pick it up. I loved it. I thought it was amazing, but definitely go into it with an open mind. I just, yeah, loved every minute of it, and I cannot wait to get my hands on Legendary. So that is the end of my TBR for May. As I said throughout, I've already read some of these. I will hopefully finish the rest of them, and that is like 8 books in the whole month, and I'm so excited. I've now finished university and I can read this summer. I'm just going to read a ton of books, hopefully get my TBR down because it is massive. Over the last few months I've not read much, so to read like 8 books in 1 month is amazing because I've been buying books but not reading. So yeah, I can't wait to tell you at the end of the month what books I've read and how I felt about them. Hope you enjoyed this video, and remember in the comments down below to tell me if you've read Roseblood or Wicked Like Wildfire and if I should carry on with them. If you haven't read them, I would like to know your opinion as to whether you think I should DNF them or keep pushing on to add 2 more books to my Goodreads goal. But yeah, I hope you guys have a nice rest of the day, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye guys.